Hi all, change of scenery today. I am not moving from my couch because the TV is on and I'm waiting for the next game. But I thought I would do my little recap of my own thoughts on the game. So, I'm on the wrong game. Wow, what did we think of Surrey Storm versus London Pulse? It was exciting to see the new lineup for Pulse of Radman and Siggy Berger together. However, I wasn't surprised, and I don't think anyone else will have been, that didn't stay on for too long. What we saw from Pulse at the beginning was some real forced passes into the D, which just weren't working, and they were getting really held up. And in fairness to Storm, that was all Storm's pressure. They were keeping them up, they were keeping them off circle edge, they had a box defence. And they were really putting pressure on that ball in. And because of the style of Pulse, because of obviously having Nadine Thomas at wing attack, Ashley Decker at centre, maybe a little bit younger, used to putting that ball into Siggy Berger. They were going up, but they weren't necessarily going in, and there was lots of balls going off the back line. So fair play to Storm. They'd obviously set up that defence, and they set it up really well. The flip side to that was Karen Berger was getting stuck sometimes as well in attack to start off with. Sometimes getting stuck coming out. She was being then forced out by Lindsay Keeble really well. So again, that got a little bit icky. It was really sad to see Emma McGee go down. I really hope she's okay. Like I said before, she's one of my favourites. But oh my God, Sophie Kelly. Wow. 16, came on court, absolutely smashed it. Running the front of the circle, running the baseline when Bailey was at the top. She really read that well and she worked so hard and it was so impressive. So 8-12 first quarter to Storm. So won the first one by 4. The second one, there was a bit more space created by Storm, I felt. Bailey started to stay post or really commit to the front to give Kelly that space. Storm defence were preventing depth again still. Then we had at quarter 2, 6 minutes left, we had Kira Rothwell enter the game. A really clever move by Sam Bird, and this ended up being like a chessboard between coaches, and it was fabulous. And I absolutely love Sam Bird and Mickey Austin for this. They're so brave, and they were not scared to make the changes that needed to be changed, and that's why the teams kept adapting. It was absolutely fantastic, but it was a really clever move. I mean, the only time that Radman really broke up that circle was when she punched through the middle, and it didn't happen too often. What you got from Rothwell coming on was drives around the side, down the base. She really started to open up that circle and work that circle with Siggy Berger, creating space, but also doing the work outside. Very clever. Storm, however, Pulse were trying to put on as well at some point in times like a box defence, but Storm were really clever in opening up that wing. You saw Yaz Parsons a lot actually, would go on that wide run even in the middle third or in the end third, creating that space. And because all of the Storm players, apart from that one person, were quite close to the other side, they couldn't cover it. So it opened it up really well. 13-11, so Pulse took the second quarter 13-11. So that was really impressive for Pulse coming back, and that was due to those changes. And we had Kawanga come on and Fidoju come on as well at that point in time near the end. I think there was probably about a minute to go. No, a minute to go. Maybe a little bit longer. And again, just getting them on before the quarter ends, making those changes to counteract the Pulse changes. Oh, clever, clever play. Quarter 3, we had Fidoju go to wing defence, Keeble go to goal defence, and Drain come on at centre for Pulse. But again, in the middle of the game, so it wasn't a case of they made those changes then went back on court. It was kind of almost disruptive for Storm when they made those changes. Pulse could put on a mid-court zone as well. They did that a couple of times, but I wanted to see them do it more because when they did it, it was really effective. And the ball ended up going off the back line for Storm, and you could hear them cheer. And I assume that the bringing on of Drain and the bringing back on of Keeble really helped set up that zone. But I'd like to see more of that. I really think they could have capitalised on that more. Their structure seemed really good. And again, it was good in this quarter. And then they had Tasheen come on at 1 minute 30 left for Pulse. She came on and Siggy Berger went off. Storm made changes as well. They brought Kawanga back. Sorry, they moved Kawanga to wing defence because they put her on at goal defence before, I do believe, and taken Middleton off, and they put Middleton back on. Now, I think this was really clever because I really rated Middleton and I thought she was doing a good job. There was no reason ever to change your goalkeeper because Priest at the back was doing a great job on Siggy Berger, but I think it was really clever at this point in time to bring Middleton back on and really start to put some pressure on in that goal defensive role. It's not that Kawanga didn't do a good job. I just don't think she was as tight and as effective as Middleton was. Middleton was a real presence for me in defence, and I think she made a real difference. So those changes with a minute to 30 to go. So we ended up going into the fourth quarter, 33 to Pulse, 32 to Storm. So Pulse had gone up by 1. So now was a real pressure because it's the first time they've started leading and they're going into this final quarter. And then what we had was almost towards the end of the game, it started to get really even. So there was points of time where they were even, points of time where there was one in it. We almost had points where a couple of people kind of lost their heads a little bit and they got a little bit involved in the scoreline rather than in what they were actually doing. You started to see some long drives, you started to see some balls into hands. I mean, again, the defence all the way through the game from both ends was really good, and so you can't take anything away from them. But actually, the clinical errors started to come in from the through court attack as well, and all the way through. I mean, we had footwork errors, we had throw-in errors, and that's just the key point. This is the point in time, in my opinion, that is your difference between your winning teams and your losing teams. Your winning teams don't panic, and then they keep focused on their game plan and they keep playing the game plan or adapt the game plan to a game plan that works. Don't get me wrong, you can adapt. But what they don't do is go back into themselves and go back into that just 1v1 mentality. And we kind of had a little bit of that coming through. Not a lot, don't get me wrong, but enough to make a difference. And so you could tell by the scoreline on that last quarter, I mean, it was 7 goals to Pulse and 10 goals to Surrey Storm. And so, Storm came out with a win, 42-40. It could have gone either way. I mean, a couple of errors going into the last couple of goals where you think if those errors hadn't have happened, Pulse could have come away with the win. But at the same point in time, there was so many errors throughout the game. It's really harsh to put it on the final error of the game, if that makes sense. Overall, fantastically exciting. I think Yaz Parsons, for me, definitely stood up. She commanded that centre position. She was quite a leader. You could see that she was just helping to direct stuff. For Pulse, I think you could tell when Drain came on, that made a difference in my opinion. And Lindsay Keeble as well coming on, like she went off but obviously coming back on. Fumi Fudoji, by the way, oh my goodness, she came out with a couple of interceptions. I'd say she was more quiet than she can be, but she is definitely one to watch. But obviously the shock of not the shock, but the story of the game has to be Sophie Kelly, 16 years old and coming on and putting out that performance. She should be very proud of herself, and I'm sure she is, and I hope this continues. What I also hope is that Emma McGee gets her back on her feet and is okay. Right, I'm going to go because I don't have too long until Team Bath versus Celtic Dragons and I want to watch that one. I hope you're all good. Speak to you soon.